Mosquitoes created happy hour, and now you gotta learn about it because somebody on the internet gave me permission to info dump. I want to apologize now. It's the early 1600s and Spain is sending missionaries to South America, and what do they see? Sick people everywhere chewing on bark. These people are sick with malaria and they're chewing on the bark of the cinchona tree. Cinchona?
Cinchona.
They didn't know this at the time, but the bark of the cinchona tree is rich in a chemical called quinine or quinine if you're not a Yankee, and what that does is effectively cure malaria. Like, we still use it today, it cures malaria. And this tree earned itself the rightful nickname fever tree for all the medicinal benefits. So the missionaries take it back to Spain. Spain says this is awesome. South America says, yeah, it's pretty expensive too. And then Spain says, oh, surprise, we're colonizers now. Spain essentially harvests all the trees, plants them on their own soil, and it leads to this medicinal boom for all of Europe. And weirdly enough, side story, carbonated water was part of that. I don't want to get too off track, but there was a gentleman by the name of Johann Jacob Schwepp. Last name, sound familiar? Yeah, he lived in the foothills of Silsa, Germany. Another name, sound familiar, right? Okay, I promise you I'm not making this up. The dude's a watchmaker, but he decides to give carbonation a try on the mineral water from the foothills, and he's like, oh mein Gott, it's good. Mr. Schwepp grows his brand, he breaks into the British economy, and what's Britain doing around the 1820s? They're invading India. Why? Because they found they can isolate quinine from the tree bark, and now their soldiers in the West Indies don't get shakes and diarrheas in it. Here's the problem with isolated quinine, it's bitter as all hell. I mean, like, poison level bitter. Up until the invasion of India, they were mixing it with wine or beer or whatever they could get their hands on. However, gin became a huge boom around that time, and it was eventually rationed to the soldiers stationed in India. And because sparkling water didn't actually cure scurvy, they're still getting limes as part of their ration too. Here's the other thing, you get malaria from mosquitoes, so you want to top up your quinine right before you get mosquito bites, which is typically 5 or 6 p.m. So come 5 or 6 p.m., the boys would get together, they'd mix up a cocktail of lime juice, quinine, water, sugar, and gin, and then they'd use it as an excuse to get hammered. Come on, some things never change. So the boys return home, and now they have an acquired taste for that specific blend, and what do you do when you get home? You go drink with your friends, and you tell them, hey, this is what we drink. We're cool, we're soldiers. You want to be cool like a soldier? Now everybody's drinking it, and there's this big gin and quinine and water boom that happens, and guess who figures out how to capitalize on that? John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. I mean, he's dead at this point, but his company knows how to milk a good profit. So they get this idea, let's reduce the quinine amount so people don't get sick, and we're just gonna start selling it. They weren't the first to do it, but they were the ones that made the best stuff. So Schwepp says, hey, well, why don't we keep the name tonic, because it's kind of medicinal, and we put our name all over everything, and you know what, go ahead and drink it at 5 or 6 p.m., because you're all creatures of habit anyways. Schweppes wasn't even the only person that cashed in on that. There was another brand in England that basically dominated the tonic water market. By the way, do you remember the name for the cinchona tree, what they called it, the nickname? Fever tree? Oh my God, I love doing these. I love it so much.